Hi, I'm Mark Cerulli for Singlemalt TV, and we're here in the world-famous Puck Building, pronounce that very carefully, for Whisky Live 2008. Let's go, we'll meet some girls, we'll look under some kilts, we'll have some fun.
Well, I actually just got here, but I went right to the Jameson table because Jameson's my favorite.
Why is it your favorite?
I lived in Ireland for a year, so it's very close to my heart. I find it to be the easiest whiskey to drink on the rocks.
I tried the Johnny Walker Gold.
What did you like about it?
I liked it when it was chilled. It was very smooth. It was a pleasure to drink, and I wanted more.
Well, you've come to the right place. How about you?
Yeah, we've tried a selection. We're just going by the guidance of this expertise. He's got the expertise of whiskey, working in a distillery.
And any favorites?
Not yet. Just trying to find something that agrees with me.
You can go get a flask if you go inside our VIP Doers Lounge.
I think if you go around, you'll see every stand's busy. I think they're having a go at everything.
And they're drinking it out of your product, correct?
They are. Yes, they are. I'm pleased to say.
What can you tell us about your lovely glasses?
Well, I designed it many years ago, and when we eventually launched it at Whisky Live in London, 2001, it really captured the imagination of the whisky industry, but we decided only to market it to the Scotch whisky industry, and for the first few years, and now every whisky company uses the glass, but we haven't rolled it out to the bars and restaurants and public yet, but that'll come.
So how long did it take you to design this glass?
Oh, well, it's based on the nosing glass that the master blenders use. All over the labs in the Scotch whisky industry. But what I did, I'm a strong believer that whisky drinkers don't want to drink out of a glass with a stem. That's all right for the master blenders for nosing. So we took the stem away, married the bowl to a more robust base, or a more masculine type base, opened it up a bit so it's become a drinkable nosing glass. And it's shaped so you can't help but nose before you drink.
Oh, I'm having a great time, and what we're drinking right now is the Glenmorangie, which is aged in a Sauterne cask, and actually, I really like it a lot. It's one of the best whiskeys I've tasted.
Are you into whiskeys, or is this like?
Well, Richard actually got me into whiskeys about a year ago, and so I'm just experimenting now, and this is a great place to try different whiskeys and see what you really like. So yeah, actually I'm having. It's a great educational experience, given my educator.
And me, I'm just a pusher. The first one's always free. So this is my third year in a row, and I enjoy it every year.
How does this one compare to the other ones?
Well, it's been nice. Every year's been a little different. Different venue, different vendors. I mean, enough people who are the same, but enough different things so that there's always some variety. Food's always good.
And the last question, where the hell did you get that jacket?
I got mine off a guy in a van. I parked out.
Omar the tent maker.
Oh yes, exactly.
The blended malt category obviously is a new category for us, or a new sector within the category. Over the years, we've always been very clear in our own minds as the professionals in the industry that there are several types of whiskey. One is a grain whiskey, one is a malt whiskey, and the two together are called a blended whiskey. I think it became slightly more difficult when you talked about two different malt whiskies from different distilleries and put them together. That for us in the industry was always called a vatted malt. But I think for Joe Public it wasn't all that obvious, and what I think the Scotch Whisky Association has tried to do, and it's a representative body of the industry per se, so whole groups of companies, was to try and clarify that to the man on the street. Now, whether blended malts has done that or blended grains has done that, I think we have yet to see. But this is a decision which I personally fought against. But then I found that the weight of the industry was actually against me. And I remember asking a question at a particular Scotch Whisky Association meeting and found that of the 80 people sitting in the room, not a single one supported my argument. So I felt very much that I was in the minority. You're talking about blended whisky. To me, blended whisky is grain and malt whisky put together. If you talk about blended malts, it's still very clear to me, but perhaps it's not quite so clear to the guy on the street.
There's been big changes at Bowmore. We've changed our importer in the US since January this year. We're now with Sky Spirits. And we brought in, really, we're still been completing the transition, bringing in a new range of Bowmores. Because we brought in a new 18, 15-year-old darkest. And then this is just the new one we're just about to bring out, the 16-year-old port matured. So there's quite a lot going on. So you've got really kind of stewed fruits, a little bit of smokiness, really nice, fills the mouth beautifully. It's also cask strength, I would point out. So maybe I should have given you a little splash of water.
Yeah, I will testify that that is full strength. It's really delicious. It's wonderful.
Really, the flavor profile is what you'll pick up there is, in Scotland we call it damsons. It's like a plum. It's like it's a kind of dark red fruit. If you kind of stew that, you really get this kind of sugary, dark, red fruit type notes, and also brambles, which I think in the States are called blueberries. So you get this kind of blueberry type notes. That's really the notes that you'll pick up there. But it's all behind it all. You've got this kind of wonderful kind of back taste of the smokiness of the Bowmore.
I'm having a great time. Basically, I quite like sherry finished whiskies, so I'm just trying a few of the distilleries like the Macallan, Glenmorangie, just been to Glenlivet. I also actually for the first time tried some good bourbon. I'm a whiskey drinker, so I went over to Four Roses. Really like that, slightly different. Being from the UK, we're not so hot on our bourbons to be on our whiskey, so that was interesting.
I think this is the Duncan Taylor 38-year-old blend, and I'm having a very good time. This is probably one of the top 10 whiskeys I've had in my life so far.
And what do you like about that particular whiskey?
This has got an enormous degree of complexity. This is, really, when you have lack of words to describe how it tastes, you have to really think about it. This is a sign of a good whiskey as far as I'm concerned.
This particular whiskey, though, has a complexity that's enjoyable. And, nobody likes something simple, and especially other people. But the one thing that's nice about this, though, is that you could sit back, enjoy it, and have a nice evening. It's definitely not just your simple after-work drink.
What are we drinking here tonight?
Yeah, we've had a few. We've had, of course, the Glenlivet we've had, which is very great. We did one of the master tastings before.
This is the Highland Park. Highland Park 18.
Do you have any personal favorites?
Like I said, when we did the tasting, you went all the way from 12 to 15 to 18 to 21 to 30 in the Glenfiddich. My favorite was the 30. Here's a big fan of the 18.
I'm a big fan of 18. I don't know what it is. I'm not educated enough on Scotch to tell you why, but I tend to like the 18-year-old varieties. I don't know if you call them varietals or varieties, but I like the Glenfiddich 18. I like the Highland Park 18. I like the Macallan 17. Just something about that age I tend to like. Personal predilection.
Incidentally, I'm actually a big fan of 18-year-olds myself.
right. Got to be at least 18. Is this your first time going to this?
It is, yeah. It's nice. It seems like a great event for both sort of novices like ourselves and for people who are a little more experienced. And I'm sure can have just as much fun.
Do I need lip gloss?
No, you look lovely. All right, we ready? All right. Well, what are you drinking? What are you liking this tonight at the event?
Well, right now this is water.
Oh.
I've sampled a little bit of everything. I'm not a fan of smoky, but I do like the sweet. And my favorite is the Irish malt.
And what do you like about the Irish malt?
It's so sweet. It has a taste of raspberry, honey. It almost tastes like candy. It's a little sugary. This one actually right here, the Ardbeg, was very smoky. It almost made me want like a flame-broiled Whopper or something. But I do like the sweet. I'm a fan.
I love those Whoppers. Any surprises tonight? How was the food? Have you enjoyed it?
Surprisingly, I'm attracted to the guys in kilts. I didn't think I would be, but I am, you know. I'm actually trying to find my favorite now, so.
Well, you know what they say about what's under the kilt.
What do they say?
There ain't nothing under the kilt.
Good to know. Thanks for the heads up.
Thank you. Thank you. So I'm Mark Cerulli, and this is it from Whisky Live New York. We had a lot of fun. We tried some Scotch whiskeys, some blended whiskeys, some other freaking kind of whiskeys. I'm never coming back to this one, man. I thought the Scottish were hospitable. What do they know?
Through the door, keep going. All the
This
time.
is it for me.
Martin wants to bring
I want my
journalists-
check. Well, that's it for Whisky Live New York. And I'm never coming back, man. It's just not worth it. That's it. That's it. I'm finished. I'm done.
Take it out.